I would do anything for love. Did you buy a fake watch off eBay? But I won't do that. Turns out I did do that. Not on purpose. Check it out. Here we have the first run of the Hobby of Hours business cards. Boom. Just in time for my trip to the NYC. Very excited. Gonna swing through Jersey, see if anything is still living there. And long story. But going up to NYC, Paul Thorpe, awesome channel. If you've never seen his stuff, stop watching my stuff, go subscribe to his channel, and then come back. Really great YouTuber, former watch dealer, and just really a brilliant guy and a super cool guy. I met Paul a couple years ago through just watching his channel and corresponding a little bit. Just shared our backstories about, the loss of family, his loss of his parents, my loss of mine, and just stayed in touch over the years. And I always said, because he's from England, I always said, if I ever have an opportunity, I'm going to buy you a pint, because we chewed some of the same dirt. And so him and his buddies and some other folks are coming over to the U.S. I think they're in Miami right now. They're going up to New York. They're going to do a get-together. So I know New York a little bit, so what the heck, I'm driving up there. Gonna talk some watches, and I don't know if I'm gonna shoot anything in there, because I think they're gonna be shooting. And their channel's far bigger than mine, so I want to pay them the respect. But I might get some shots and share that with you. And that's why I wanted to have the little business cards. My buddy Franklin, back in the day when he used to have a creative idea, I would say to him, hey, are the business cards printed yet? Because if you don't have the cards, it's not real yet. And the irony was, or the comedy was, printing his business cards for the new idea was always the first thing he did. So Franklin, my cards are ready, brother. The watch I'm wearing today, the watch I showed you, is not the fake watch that I accidentally bought because I was stupid on eBay. This watch is the reason I bought it, though, of sorts. This is the Woody, the G-Shock Woody, and I love this G-Shock. Got it a couple years ago, bought it at like $110, and it was in perfect condition. And I decided to take a gamble. I had the sense that it was going to go up in value, so I never wore it. I parked it. Sure enough, time goes by. They start selling for $200, for $300. Now they're selling for well over $400. But I really wanted to wear it too. So what I did is I eventually got back online and found one that was used. And I think I paid like $180 for it used. My logic ass thought being that, okay, I'll wait a while, flip the new one, and then either make money on the combo, or at very least sell that new one off, thus funding this watch entirely. It's a G-Shock, who cares? It was fun. I wanted to have some fun. I wanted to see if I could do it. And I can do it, because I ended up doing it on a couple other rarer G-Shocks. And some G-Shocks are selling for over $3,000. And I'm not even talking about the Mr. G full metal special edition ones. I'm talking about just rare ones, a lot of the military ones, the fire service ones. And every now and then, if you can get a hold of one that's a rare bird, you can put it aside and make some money. So what I'm doing today is G-Shock, in collaboration with Bait, B-A-I-T, which is a lifestyle brand, did a collaboration to bring out an Initial D G-Shock. Initial D is a manga, and I think they made it into a full-blown animated series. Where manga becomes anime and back and forth. I think manga is just the book and anime is the animated. But it's a cool piece of anime manga about this kid who drives this Toyota around delivering for his family shop. And G Money turned me on to that show because I guess there's some really great driving sequences or driving lessons that could be picked up on it. So I started watching it a little bit years ago to just pick up some driving lessons. You can always get better at driving, right? So somehow I got an email or someone told me that this special edition was coming out, and they did something really funny. They did it by lottery. Like, you were only able to buy one by lottery. And so I won the lottery and I picked one up. It was $200, which is a lot for a G-Shock out the door, I'll admit. But I had the sense, hey, this might go up in price. So I did it. I bought it. And I parked it away. And thinking, hey, if you can't invest in Rolex, invest in Casio. And it's gotten up. They routinely sell north of 400. I see them listed for 600. I don't think they're selling. So I figure I'll probably hold on to this one until it hits 8. It's probably a year or two, but I periodically try to do the same thing as this. Try to find one that's used, lower end, so I can actually wear it, because it is a cool looking watch. And I'm gonna do an unboxing of the fake. YouTube has a lot of algorithm discrimination about fake or whatever, so we might have to come up with a code name for that. Make-believe watches. I made a make-believe watch, or maybe an F watch. Drop me a note in the comments what you call these. And I don't mean homage watches. I mean out-and-out fake, rip-off, knockoff, replicas, watches built to fool you. We do not advocate for any of that mumbo-jumbo. But I'm a dummy. I got in on this auction. I wasn't paying attention, mostly because it was cheap to get in. I think it was like $75, $100. I ended up winning it at $100 plus shipping. I was like, awesome, half price. But shame on me, I didn't look at any of the photos. I read the caption and some of it briefly. I was tracking something else, and like I said, it wasn't high dollar, so I didn't care. I wasn't paying attention. And I'm getting a bit for that right now. So it came in, unboxed it, and I knew immediately something wasn't right. The sheer weight of it. Yes, I know G-Shock Casio is a plastic watch with a little bit of metal, but I've handled enough 5600s in my life, and this was a 5600 just with a special design. As soon as I took it out of the tin, I was like, oh, hey, something's not right here. And I start looking it over, looking at the graphics and the coloration. It was like, oh no. Because I know there's knockoffs out there. They got knockoffs of everything. There are F watches all over the place. I think there's even a fake F91 out there. The real one's $10. Why are you faking an F91? There's also a fake Suunto out there. For some reason, that's my most popular video. For the life of me, I can't figure out why. But there's a $15 knockoff out there that I'm actually probably going to buy for comparison's sake, because I think the stopwatch feature on the fake is the big is in the big font, big screen of the module, the way that we all desire it would be on the all-core blackout that was in Equalizer. I should do, for science, I may have to pick up one of those. Strictly for science. But this Initial D, heartbreaking. But you know what? If you screw up, you own up and you clean up. And that's what this here video is about. Let's do the unboxing and let's get a side-by-side going and maybe learn a few lessons together. And here we have it, our first F watch on the channel, our first fake. Not a good thing. If I'm being honest, I should have caught this, but gosh, to be brutally honest, I wasn't following the auction closely. I didn't look at the pictures. I just saw Initial D G-Shock and I jumped in. And I got it at a steal, which the seller has since written me saying he got it off of Facebook and wasn't sure about it and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's an F watch. The watch on the right is the real one, and it's the one that I bought. I won the lottery with bait to buy one of these. I wonder if that lottery was just bogus. But anyways, I forget if I got that via email or someone sent it to me and I put my name in. Now, obviously, if I had done my due diligence and looked at the photos, we've got some immediate things. This is not the Initial D box. Not that that matters per se, but this is a standard box and hexagon tin for any old G-Shock. For all I know, this could be real. This seems realish. And I'm going to zoom in on the two watches themselves in a hot minute. But this is the one that came with it. Came in a circular box, Initial D branding, yada, yada, yada. That should have prompted me immediately to start looking at the watch itself. But this is our big picture showing all the goodies. Even the cards are different. This one is very, very thin. And this one has got a bit of thickness in there. I think there's a little booklet in there too. So, you know, these are very simple things. If I'd looked at the watches themselves, and there's a dead giveaway. And surprisingly, it's not the light up background Initial D. If I'm being honest, the light up logo on this one, the F watch, is a little bit better. So let's clear away all this blah blah and get up in that business. For clarity, the watch in my boo-boo hand is the F watch, and the one having the little tag on it is the real deal. So as we look at this, clearly the kanji is messed up. This is not as thick and it's separated. This is a little tighter. That should have been the first telltale. The buckle is black. On this one, it's straight up stainless. Some of it is... oh, that bait logo looks good. So this is the very first thing I noticed once I started digging into it, and in truth, I should have noticed it. But I didn't bother looking at the photos. Now, if we get up in on this one, the word protection and G-Shock, it's a little messy, it's a little thick. See how this one is thin line and cleaner? That's the next telltale sign. The digital module itself is pretty close, like very, very micro nuances of the positioning. And when I took this out of its tin, the first thing that hit me is, wow, this is way too light. And then when I got this one out to compare it, it's a little bit heavier, but this is like 2 ounces or thereabouts, and this is 1 3/4. So I can't I can't claim that I can discern a 1/4 of an ounce variance. It just felt wrong. So as we flip over to this side, the printing on that red D looked a little bit light, didn't look right. This one is a little bit darker, a little bit richer. So disappointing, because if I'd actually gotten one for $110, I could have easily flipped this and owned it outright for free, or maybe even made some money. I need to kill the lights and put it in neutral for a lume check on this light, although with this boo-boo hand, I don't know how I'm going to hit that light button. Let's give it a shot though. Okay, reminder, the F watch is on the left, the goodie is on the right, and look, the F watch It's dark. The special thing is darker on the F watch. How shame on you, Casio. But for some reason I can't see you can't see the time when you do the light on the left one. How odd. What's the moral of the story? Do your research. Do your research. It's something I know better. I should have known better. And God willing, this will get returned and I'll be sorted out on it. And one of the tools we can use for research, yes, I know the internet is awesome, but it is our watch book library. This is a book that would not have helped me on this particular model, but this is the G-Shock book. It's from the JDM and it's from 2015, and it has every G-Shock in it leading up to 2015. This book is amazing. It's not that thick. I think I paid like 50 or 60 bucks for it, which is not a lot for a watch book, full of photos and reference numbers. And it's the reference numbers that you need. And as I was thumbing through this, there are a bunch of really cool G-Shocks, titanium ones from years ago, our favorite metal, that I didn't even know existed. This book is amazing. And this wasn't released as a book. This was released in the boutiques as a giveaway. And there's no boutique near me, so of course I'm off to eBay. I think the Japanese one is more current than this one. Yeah, in my watch book obsession, I probably have multiples of this, but amazing. And it helped me hunt down a couple other rare G-Shocks that I'll eventually do a video on. Lesson learned, do your research, do your research. Yo, D, do your research. So, hope this cautionary tale was beneficial to you, and you got to experience another rare bird, this little Initial D G-Shock. Still pretty cool, you can still get them. Just make sure you don't get the F model. And there you have it, our first F watch on the channel. Oh, such a dummy. Should have known better, should have been paying attention. I guess there's a lesson in there too, that no matter how low you go, keep your eyes on what you're doing. My goodness. Getting lazy. Getting lazy. Yeah, I don't know. I imagine eBay is going to protect me through it. I just wonder how devious this seller's going to be. They had a reasonable feedback rating. I should say positive feedback rating, not a whole lot. I think they're in the 50s or 70 quantity or whatever. So I don't know if this is just a kid who got fooled himself, or if it's someone who's actively doing the deed of passing on an F watch. We'll find out. The danger in this is I'm sure that eBay will defend my position such that the seller will be leveraged into sending me a prepaid label. I'm not worried about that part. That's the easy part. But if this is truly a negative operator, then you run into the problem of when they get the box back, one of those empty box claims. Oh, I got it back from the buyer, but there was nothing inside. So I'm gonna have to James Bond this one, videotape it, document me packing it, taping it, following me to the post office to hand it off to the person. I don't know, we'll see. That might be a fun little adventure too. I see a lot of F watches on eBay, come to think of it, but mostly the ones I see are Hanhart. Glad you enjoyed the previous Hanhart video, but I've been buying Hanhart for a lot of years, and it's easy to spot the fakes, the ones with the Peugeot 3133 movement out of China and Russia, somewhere over there. And the thing is, the Peugeot 3133 is a great chronograph movement, and the Peugeot Kirova watches are very good good looking watch. Problem is when, put Hanhart name on Russian watch, it's no good. It's fake. And all of that tooling and equipment was taken by Russia after World War II out of the Tutima watch plant and sent, I believe it's actually in China now, but Russia controlled, or some mixy-fixy between the two. I don't know. I do not want to research. It's dangerous. But those are good watches in and of themselves. Reasonable watches, affordable watches. I'd rather have one of those than the Seagull chrono, and I've never had one, but that's rumored to be a really great one. I'm sure it is. It's cool. Just the aesthetic and the hands doesn't appeal to me personally, but that watch is widely regarded as the best mechanical chronograph under 500. And I think that's probably true. But yeah, when I see those fake Hanharts out there, I cringe. I actually write the sellers saying, hey, not sure if you know this, but this is a fake. And some of them are grateful, and some of them politely ignore me because they know what it is they're selling. Come on, a fake Hanhart selling for $3,500, passing off as if it's real? Craziness. Well, as G-Money said last night when I broke the news to him, at least I learned a cheap lesson on this one. So if something goes squirrely, something goes sideways, I'll do a follow-up video. Otherwise, I'm going to get to it and give a shout out and a thanks to Frank and Shirley for the best coffee in town. All right, hope you enjoyed this little hobby of ours, and get on with your day. All right, take care.